And federal assistance for these issues is, I know, extremely important, because a lot of folks don't save for these kinds of emergencies, and when they hit, it takes a real drain on their resources and ability to take care of themselves and their family.
We don't save. Baby, she done made me so mad with this one. If you know me, I don't really get into politics, but to say that Americans don't save for these natural disasters, ma'am, we can't save. We cannot save. People are out here living paycheck to paycheck. And people that live in the mountains don't expect hurricanes. They don't have insurance like that. So maybe if Americans could afford to live in America, we could save and be prepared for these things. However, it still would not be enough to replace your whole life being washed away. So maybe the government should save our money, stop sending it to all these different places, and take care of our people.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, because that's the most important thing you can do for me on this channel. What it does is that helps make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get their notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, please do me a favor and yourself a favor by hitting the subscribe button, as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button, so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, please make sure you share this video out on your social media platforms to your family and friends to inform them on this news and information. And yes, that does help to give me a slight boost in the YouTube algorithm as well. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today we have to get back into Kamala Harris's obsession with politicizing Hurricane Milton. She is completely obsessed with politicizing this situation, and it's very disgusting to see, because it's just so distasteful and tone deaf. Everyone's tired of it. The people are tired of it. Ron DeSantis is tired of it, and even Joe Biden is getting tired of it. And I'm going to show that to you in this clip right now. Now, as you all remember, about a day or two ago, and I reported it here on this channel, Kamala Harris was presented with a false report by NBC, in which they presented her the report stating that we heard you were trying to contact Ron DeSantis, and Ron DeSantis has been ignoring your phone calls concerning preparations for Hurricane Milton. As opposed to telling the truth and saying that those reports are false, Kamala Harris ran with the lie. And when she ran with that lie, and Joe Biden was asked about it in his initial interview on Hurricane Milton preparations, Donald Trump, or I should say Joe Biden, praised Ron DeSantis and pretty much dismissed the whole Kamala Harris aspect of it. Now, here we are again, where Joe Biden, in now another interview, is presented with the same question about Kamala Harris apparently, allegedly trying to call Ron DeSantis, and he not taking her call. And look at Biden's response. He is so over it, it's not even funny.
Mr. President, does Governor DeSantis need to take Vice President Harris's calls?
All I can tell you is I'm talking to Governor DeSantis. He's been very gracious. He's thanked me for all we've done. He knows what we're doing, and I think that's important.
He's tired of playing the games, man. He's tired. You can see him essentially rolling his eyes when he was asked that question. And he said, look, man, all I can tell you is that I've been in contact with Ron DeSantis, and he's been doing a fantastic job. This stuff about Kamala Harris, I don't know. Joe Biden comes off as an individual who put in his 2-week notice at his job, and he's just trying to ride these last 2 weeks out. I really don't have time for the games, man. Come on with this Kamala Harris, Ron DeSantis stuff. Ron DeSantis is cool. Me and him have been in contact. Stop it already. Let's just watch this one more time before we move on, because I just find it interesting that he looks very much so over the games with Kamala Harris.
Mr. President, does Governor DeSantis need to take Vice President Harris's calls?
All I can tell you is I'm talking to Governor DeSantis. He's been very gracious. He's thanked me for all we've done. He knows what we're doing, and I think that's important.
Everything is fine. The reports concerning Kamala Harris trying to call Ron DeSantis is garbage. And Ron DeSantis continued to reiterate that in his most recent interview with, I believe it is CNBC, in which essentially CNBC is doing damage control. They made Kamala Harris look bad by initially putting that report out there, to which Kamala Harris ran with it. And now they're trying to do a little bit of damage control because it looks really bad when Kamala ran with the lie that they put out. And then you have Joe Biden, who's consistently not defending her concerning that lie, but instead defends Ron DeSantis, stating that he's doing a great job. Listen to how Ron DeSantis now responded to the anchor on, I believe it's CNBC, as CNBC attempts to do damage control.
Could you just help clear something else up that happened earlier this week? And we were actually debating it at this table, so I got to ask. There was some praise that came your way from President Biden and said that they had spoken, you had spoken. Then there was this brouhaha over Vice President Harris apparently reaching out to you and maybe not taking the call, and this whole thing, accusations that this had all become politicized. Can you just speak to what happened there?
I am working with the President of the United States. I'm working with the Director of FEMA. I'm marshaling all my state assets. We've been doing this now nonstop for over 2 weeks between Helene and this. And so if there's anything I can leverage to benefit my people, I'm going to do it. The fact of the matter is they put out a story saying I didn't even know she was trying to reach me, but she has no role in this process. And I've been dealing with these storms in Florida under both Trump and Biden. Neither of them ever politicized it. And in fact, all the storms I've dealt with under this administration, although I've worked well with the president, she has never called in Florida. She has never offered any support. So what she's doing is she's trying to inject herself into this because of her political campaign. So as the governor here who's leading this, I don't have time for those games. I don't care about her campaign. Obviously, I'm not a supporter of hers, but she has no role in this process. And so I'm working with the people I need to be working with. We're leveraging the resources I need to be leveraging. And for her to try to say that my focus should be on catering to her rather than worrying about my own people just shows she doesn't understand what it means to respond to these natural disasters.
Now, like Ron DeSantis says, she's never a part of any of these conversations, ever. Throughout the course of the 3.5 years that the administration has been in office, she's not a part of these hurricane relief efforts. But now, because she's running for essentially re-election, as far as I'm concerned, against Donald Trump, though technically censorship police, technically Kamala Harris is the vice president, so she's not running for re-election as the incumbent president. Censorship police, I want to make sure to clarify that. But the point is that over the course of the last 3.5 years, she's never a part of any of these discussions up until now, because she's running for president against Donald Trump. And now you're watching the DNC leadership team force her into these conversations that she was never in before. And she's very happy to do so. Now, once again, going back to Joe Biden, because I want to pull up this White House briefing with FEMA where they were talking about hurricane relief. Like I said, man, Biden, he put in his 2 weeks notice already. He's just trying to get through like the final weeks of his presidency. He's just trying to get through and get done with this so he can move on with his life and live whatever much of it that he has left out in peace, right? So that's why you see here now, and I'm going to pull up, Kamala Harris was recently on that press conference with Biden and the FEMA team concerning Hurricane Milton relief. And I want you to look at how disgusting Kamala Harris is as she immediately politicizes the moment, talking about misinformation, disinformation, nonsense.
Administrator Criswell,
yes, ma'am.
Are we concerned about any misinformation or disinformation regarding evacuations that we need to clear up at this point?
There's been a lot of misinformation out there, Madam Vice President, that's for sure. But I have not heard anything specific to the evacuations.
There is no misinformation and disinformation concerning the evacuations in Florida. That is such a nonsensical, stupid question to ask. And you see everybody is just going along with it now at this point. They're going along with it to help Kamala Harris's campaign. Once again, look at this. This was the status update hurricane briefing. Kamala Harris, as Ron DeSantis said, is never a part of this stuff. She hasn't been over the course of the last 3.5 years. But now you see they're pushing her forward to make her seem presidential, to make it seem like she's calm under pressure during crisis and that she can handle these things when she clearly can't. She doesn't know what she's talking about, and they're just forcing the issue, and it's disgusting. She recently called in to CNN to speak with Dana Bash about the hurricane. Let's play some of this. It's about 2 minutes. I am not playing the entire 2 minutes because I cannot listen to her lie and fumble her way through hurricane talk that she knows nothing about. I can't listen to the whole thing, but we're going to listen to some of it right now, and then we'll carry on. This is just disgusting.
And that you got Vice President Harris on the phone.
That's right, Brianna. Thank you so much. Vice President Harris, I believe that you are now on the telephone fresh off of that briefing that we all saw here on CNN. Thank you so much for being here. What is the most important thing that you learned that you want to amplify for Americans who are in the path of this dangerous storm right now?
The briefing was very helpful on a number of fronts, but most importantly in getting the word out to folks in Florida in particular to please heed the advice and direction of your local officials, because this storm is unlike anything we have seen before, and that's the point of emphasis. This is unlike anything we have seen before. We got a lot of tough, strong people in Florida who have been through a lot of hurricanes, tornadoes, but this is not like anything they've dealt with before. So if they have been told to
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Why is she on the phone now? We have Kamala Harris on the line. She's on the phone. Why are you on the phone now? You haven't been on the phone for hurricane season discussing these things on CNN over the last 3.5 years. So why are you on the phone now? Why do you want to talk hurricane talk now? Why do you want to talk hurricane relief talk now? It doesn't make any sense because you never did this type of talking before. Here she is on a local Florida news station. She's calling into any and every news station that's willing to hear her out. Once again, this is disgusting.
Mike, that I would make, especially came through on the briefing from the federal experts. It's really important that we think about the language that we're using to talk about what we are predicting. Because, for example, it has moved from time to time from a Category 5 to a Category 4. It's important that we not emphasize that downgrading has happened because, in fact, the difference between Category 5 and Category 4 in terms of the danger and the damage is pretty much the same.
I don't know why she's even talking to anybody at this point. Once again, the point is can you find any news clips at all? Just one of her being on the phone with these news outlets during the multiple hurricane seasons of the past since she's been in office. You can't. She's not a part of the hurricane briefings. She's not a part of the relief efforts with FEMA. She never calls into news stations, apparently just to simply tell people, hey, listen to your sheriff and listen to the governor, just giving kind of a basic information that everybody knows already. You've never seen her doing this before. But now that she's running for president against Donald Trump, now she's politicizing moments like this that shouldn't be politicized. Moments like this that you see even not just Ron DeSantis, but Joe Biden is sick and tired of the politicizing of it. It's really annoying when you're trying to do some serious work and you have somebody else playing. Kamala Harris is playing. DeSantis is serious. Biden is serious. Kamala is playing. That's what she's doing right now. And it's disgusting. But what else do you expect coming from her and the DNC leadership team and the DNC mainstream media? I don't expect anything less from them. This is just who they are, and it's what they do. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. Please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video out on your social media platforms. And also don't forget to follow me on Telegram and Rumble. That is extremely important that you do that. Please follow me on Telegram and Rumble at TD Media Group. Both the links to my Telegram and Rumble will be in the description box below and pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you all for your time. And until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.